So, video number 3. Just kind of staring at myself. I've got other things going on, but kind of exhausted from the day. I didn't do much the first part of the day. Talked on the phone a lot. This COVID thing is getting to my coworkers, so I do these phone calls that turn into socializing sessions. We're not meant to live like this. This is, I know it's a real disease, I get it, but it's just fucking stupid. Ugh. Okay, so my last video, I got a comment. I was wearing Rocky the Flying Squirrel on my t-shirt. It's a t-shirt that I got when I was working at Tivoli. I mention ex-Tivoli a lot, like it's a thing. That's because it was a fraternity kind of a thing. A lot of people worked there, and a lot of really smart people. And I made a lot of friends there, and I did some of my best work there. The pinnacle of my career happened there. It's been downhill ever since. But I'm just still wearing that same t-shirt, but I've got this thing over me. Because I was told in my last video that every time I moved, Rocky would move. And that's because it's on my t-shirt. But I was told it was distracting. So I'm covering it up. Also, I want to acknowledge the smacking. There was a lot less of it, but it was still noticeable. It has to do with what happens to my mouth when I talk. I suddenly start producing a lot of saliva, which is going to be gross to some of you, but you know. Then when I swallow and I try to talk, I tend to make a smacking noise with my tongue as it comes down from the roof of my mouth. So that's what that was about. I noticed I did it twice that I'm aware of since I've been doing this this video. So sorry, I'm working on it, self-improvement. This is one aspect of my self-improvement plan, is to be able to do these videos without making a smacking noise. So before I go on to the main topic, I wanted to point out that it's after 5 and so I'm drinking. I just did it again. So this is the whiskey I'm drinking. It comes out of this bottle, which you've seen in other photos. It's Bulleit bourbon. I prefer the bourbon to the rye. My friend Jeff prefers the rye. And then these are the cigars that I'm not going to be able to smoke because the weather didn't cooperate. And so it rained too much, and I don't have a humidor. So probably by the time, these are now 3 days old, by the time I get around to smoking them, they probably won't be any good. So that's $10 I won't get back. But I shouldn't complain because they're cigars. You literally are burning money. You give somebody money and then you burn the cigar, which is the same as burning money. So, I guess I'm a little bit sad about that. And that's why I wanted to show them to you. I was going to smoke them, and I wanted to, you know, but I'm not going to get to now. It's, I don't know what's going on with the weather. So I'm not quite as jovial today in part because I just finished work. And in part, I've got some COVID-19 updates. Now, don't anybody lose their shit. This is not somebody coming down with the disease. Updates. I got a phone call today at about 10 o'clock. It was from my travel club, Exotic Travelers. They closed down my resort. They said all of the resorts that I have access to through this travel club are closed, except there was one where people just refused to leave. And if I were staying at a 5-star resort and they said we have to close, I would refuse to leave as well. I'm not convinced that this is a problem in the resort strip area. So I wouldn't be afraid to be there at that resort. Anything's possible. I mean, the employees of the resort do live in either Cancun or Playa del Carmen and commute. But, so they could pick it up and they could bring it to the resort, but I don't think the climate is ripe for this virus down there. They've had a few cases. Most of the cases are in Mexico City. Also, many of you expressed some concern because our illustrious president shut down all non-essential travel. It turns out that's not entirely what the order was. The order was all non-essential travel at border crossings. So you could still get on an airplane and you could still fly to Cancun or Cabo San Lucas or wherever you want to go down there. The problem is now there's no place to stay because all of the resorts are closed. They claim they're going to reopen. I just touched my face. I hope I don't get COVID. They claim they're going to reopen on June 1st. We'll see. As much as I love going down there and as attached as I am to this trip that I take every year, when I take it isn't as important to me, though I prefer not to take it in August or September, in part because that's too long for me to wait. That's number one. Number two, that's when hurricane season starts. And you probably don't recall, but I think it was 3 years ago, Hurricane Harvey went through Houston and flooded the airport, and there were people stuck at my resort, couldn't come home because they were flying into Houston. So, anyway, I could go, but I wouldn't have a place to stay. I'm supposed to go on June 10th. I didn't finish my story. Houston flooded, and we were the last flight out. Because of Hurricane Harvey. We went from Austin to Houston, and Hurricane Harvey went across the coast. And so we were sort of we flew into the remnants of the hurricane when we landed in Houston. And I almost tossed my cookies because the landing was so rough. So, and we were the last flight out. it was just, yeah. So my resort's closed. Also, I posted earlier, Pville has become a hotspot. There are enough people with COVID-19 that we made the Austin American-Statesman. So, as I mentioned in my post, first we had a serial bomber, and now we have a COVID hotspot. So, I don't know. I came here to get away from current events. When I moved here, Pflugerville was a very sleepy little town. Now my house is worth some money, but weird things are happening here anyway. So then there's these. We're now given this order that we have to wear masks, and I'm in Travis County, so I have to wear this, and it looks fucking ridiculous. Now, I've got a lot of you, I know a lot of you think this is a good idea, and maybe it is. I don't know. I don't get into that shit. Everything is political these days, right? And we've got, maybe we do have a genuine medical crisis on our hand, maybe. There, for Rhonda, I'm covering up Rocky. But I haven't been freaked out about this at all. The only thing that freaked me out was that I was just concerned that we shut down things just a little too early. That maybe we were premature. We will never know. And as I was angry about it for about 4 hours, and then I got over it because I knew it was going to tank the economy. But whatever damage we've done to the economy, we've already done it. And that's how it is. They have to grow up and be big boys and girls, right? So, anyway, there's not, I didn't promise you jokes. So we didn't do much humor today. But this is still a snapshot of my life, and I enjoy sharing it with you. And I'm digging it. I don't know. And somebody, my friend Rob Cunningham, said, if you did this interactive thing, it just wouldn't be the same. And so I kind of like the idea that some people just want me to talk to them, and they don't really want to talk back, and I like that. Also, I'm still obsessed with sex. And this whole mask thing, for some reason, I'm associating it with carnal knowledge. And I think that's weird, but I am. When I put this on, I feel like I'm playing some kind of bedroom game instead of, protecting the general public. So I don't know. So when I posted the photo of me with it, that's why I made the reference, disco bondage face gear. It was actually a reference to WKRP in Cincinnati. The station manager, I forgot his name now, you guys can put it in the comments. The station manager he was having headaches or something, and so somebody brought in this thing that he could wear on his head, and it was kind of like putting a hot towel on your head. And no, it was a mask. He wore an eye mask, and you heat it up and then wear it, and it's supposed to make your headache go away. And Johnny Fever says to him, "What's with the disco bondage headgear, man?" So, anyway, maybe that's why I associate it with some kind of deviant sexual activity. I don't know. But that shows you where my mind is. Also, a lot of those videos that I've been posting, I just it's fueling all these sexual thoughts. It's probably not healthy. It's probably about as healthy as my diet. But anyway, that said, that's today's video, and a new personal best. I went 15 minutes. So anyway, until next time, if there is a next time, stay safe, take care of yourself, and I love you.